bit number 8. We are going to move to the seconds today, but there is so much to say about the seconds. It's just going to be seconds part 1. Seconds come in 2 sizes. They come as major seconds and they come as minor seconds. And I want to show you, they are on page number 24, the different ways on fingering the seconds. So I can finger, I'm going to play from B to C. I can play a minor second, there's just 1 fret, right? I can play that on the same string with the following fingering: 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and 3 to 4. Okay, I recommend you don't do this unless you have a reason for it. Okay, sometimes we can use these sort of configurations as a pivot point to get into a different area of the bass without losing our position, without looking at the fretboard. So it's not to never do that, but have a good reason for it. Okay, I'm showing you as I'm talking how you can, move your position. I call these sideways movements the crab. We'll have lots more of those coming at us. But so typically, don't skip a finger. Note names would be B to C. If I call it B to B sharp, it's a prime. It's not a second. If I call it B to C, then it's a minor second. And B to C, and then I can also play in between 2 different strings. However, in that case, I will have to stretch. That means I have to go over 1 fret, like that. Doable, and I recommend you practice it a little bit to get that distance under your belt, because oftentimes when you're reading, not looking at the fretboard, that's really helpful to know where to go if you need to execute a minor second between 2 strings. Major second, now that's obviously 2 frets. Oh, and by the way, this is a minor second up, and this is a minor second down. Ascending, descending. I'm going this way, right? Ascending, descending. Now if I do it between 2 different strings, this is ascending, and this is descending. Just to show you, if you're really on the a beginner, this really helps to think that through, because it's not always that one direction means you're going down and one means you're going up. In this case, ascending is this way, and in this case, ascending is the other way. So just a mental note. Major second, B to C sharp. That's a major second. I can finger that like this. I can finger it like this. And I can also finger it like this. Again, I should have a reason sometimes to switch position. That's on the same string, B to C sharp. And this is B to C sharp between 2 strings. So that's a really good one to know. Ascending, descending, you can hear it. Now, what do they sound like? Minor seconds, they sound like the movie Jaws. Listen. Even when I do it down here, it's even better. There it comes. And the major second sounds like the beginning of Happy Birthday. Right? You can also think of it this way. The major second sounds like the beginning of a major scale. Right? Whereas the minor second sounds like the end of a major scale. So what do the grooves sound like? There is a minor second groove in the book on page 26. Play that for you. I want you to see the fretboard as I play it. The rhythm there, the dead note rhythm in the end of that first line there is an 16th note triplet that will be falling into an 8th note. So just the feel of it is 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The happens on the end of 4. So 4, 4, 4, right? And they're dead notes. So you just put the fingers down without pressing any fret. Okay? Major second groove. The major second groove, I want you to see me play that one. Again, those little X's mean dead notes, and the rhythm there in that last bar may seem a little complicated, but just by listening to it, I'm sure you can figure it out. Okay? Bunch of exercises in the book, how to practice your seconds. This I want to demonstrate. What I always like to do with intervals to really practice them is to keep repeating the interval. Now, I can repeat just the minor second over and over, and that gives me a certain scale. It's called the chromatic scale, and I'll show you in a second how I practice that. Then I can also repeat the major seconds, and that gives me another scale. That's called the whole tone scale. And then I can repeat a minor second and a major second, and that gives me 2 more scales. And all of these scales are super exciting. They're called symmetric scales. So you will see the examples of what I'm talking about on pages 28 and on. And I will demonstrate all of that in the upcoming bits, but today I'm going to focus on the chromatic scale. And again, these scales are called symmetric scales. They're very accessible, and they're much more accessible when you see them on fretboard diagrams rather than if you just see the notes of them. Because on the fretboard, they are, as the name implies, symmetric. And so I can move them around and really do fun stuff with them pretty much right away. I'm going to play you the chromatic scale that is in the book on page 27. It starts with the 7th fret, and don't forget, a chromatic scale is always just half step, half step, half step, half step in succession over and over and over. So it doesn't sound like it has a beginning of or an end like our regular major scale would. The pattern that it makes is really accessible. You play 1 finger per fret. On the E string, you start on the 7th fret, and then you just scoot down because I need to go another half step, right? So I'm gonna go to the next string, and I come up with this pattern. And then in the book, I keep going all the way up until I hit the highest note, and descending. So there's more than one way to skin the cat. Important is that at some point you're going to have to switch between strings. And I like to do it in such a fashion that I always have 4 per string. Once I'm done with that long string, there's no way around doing at least 1 string in a long way, especially if I'm going over that many octaves. That was part 1 of the seconds. There will be another bass bit that will be talking about more symmetric scales that we can build from the seconds. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.